Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. So for today, we are going to do another wrap-up video. This is going to be my first wrap-up video for the year 2022. But before we begin, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click that notification bell so that you will always get notified whenever I upload a new video like this one. So let's start. Okay, so I'm actually filming this video Feb 1st. And grabe, tapos na naman na ang first month of the year. Tapos na ang January and it's really going by so fast. And actually for this year, Goodreads goal, I set it to 52, which is actually the same goal that I set for myself last year, 2021. And even if I went beyond my goal. I actually read 65 books last year. I decided to just keep it at 52 as a goal this year again. And I don't expect myself to really read that much again this year, but I think I am exceeding expectations, especially this January. So for January, I was able to read a total of 13 books. Wow, that is a lot for me. And I actually haven't read this much. Last year, I think the most that I've read in 1 month are 10 books. And this is the first time that I was able to read more than 10, and I actually read 13 books. So, without further ado, let's discuss what are the 13 books that I read this January 2022. Okay, first up, I read One Day in December by Josie Silver. This is actually the second time that I read this book, and I actually liked this story the first time that I read it. The second time around, I felt like I wasn't that much invested into the story of Laurie and Jack, and I just felt like I didn't connect to them that much anymore. So I think I gave this book 3 stars. Yeah. So, and then after that, I actually started my read of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. Ayan. So, sabi nila, you cannot really call yourself an avid fantasy fan or a fantasy reader if you haven't read the Wheel of Time series. And it took me a while to really think about it if I wanted to start and commit to this series because the Wheel of Time is actually a 15-book series, including I think, the novella or the prequel, so it really is a commitment if you want to read it. I don't know. I'm not sure if I am ready for that commitment to read the 15 books, and it's not a YA na konting pages lang. These are very dense books, almost 1,000 pages each book. Tapos sobrang dense ng writings niya. So it's really a tough one. But I told myself, okay, I think I am really very curious what the Wheel of Time holds for me. And ang laki, ang grabe when I look at reviews about it, the community that loves the series is so big. That's why I'm really very curious and interested to see what this series has to offer. So I decided to try it out for myself. I actually decided to buy first. This one is the premium mass market edition. This one is the first 3 books. The first one is Eye of the World. The second one is The Great Hunt, and the third one is The Dragon Reborn. And I just bought it first set muna because I really just wanted to test the waters and see if I get past the first book, will I be interested. And I was actually prepared to have just to read one book a month. So the target really was to finish it the entire year 2022 spread out equally throughout the year. But I didn't really think I would be hooked that much that I actually read four Wheel of Time books this month. So I was able to finish all these 3 plus the fourth one, which is Shadow Rising. And to think all of these are 1,000 pages each nga. it just shows that I was really interested into the world, and it's just 4 books in, and I know I still have a long way to go, but I am very happy with what I've been reading so far. And I think so far I gave all these 4 books around 4 stars each. But if you're going to ask me what was my favorite so far in these 4 books, I would say I loved The Great Hunt so much. Yung second book, sobrang ang dami kong scenes there that I liked. So, yeah, 4 books of the Wheel of Time series in January. So happy that I was able to read. But I decided, after the fourth book, I decided to take a break because I feel like I was having a fatigue already when it comes to reading this huge fantasy book. That's why I took a break and I started reading romance novels. So after that, I actually read the These Violent Delights duology. So the first book is These Violent Delights, and the second book is Our Violet Ends by Chloe Gong. So excuse the plastic. Nilagay ko na siya ulit sa plastic so that it will be protected. Alam niyo naman yung humid weather dito sa Philippines. My books really easily get the brown pages, yung may foxing na yung pages. So I put them in plastic whenever I can. Yeah, so this one is by an Asian author, si Chloe Gong, and the second book, which is Our Violent Ends, actually just released Q4 2021. That's why I decided to marathon these two together. This Violent Delights duology is actually Romeo and Juliet retelling based in 1920s Shanghai. So actually super enjoyed this book. I didn't know that I would be enjoying this much for a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And I just want to say that I finished each book within a day. Like I finished These Violet Delights and Our Violet Ends in one weekend. So I read this Saturday and then I read this Sunday. So that's how much I enjoyed these books. And it's of course how the story will play out at the end because of the Romeo and Juliet retelling plot, but the other plot when it comes to the monsters and the illness that is going through Shanghai, and it comes to the politics, the gang wars, and all those kinds of stuff, it works for me. So if you are craving an angsty love story with a lot of gang war dynamics, there's violence, yes, a lot of plotting, a lot of action scenes. This is something for you. So, yep, I really enjoyed this. And then after that, I read another romance novel. So I think after that, sobrang I wanted to continue with reading romance for the rest of January. So I got I read this one. This is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is also a very famous um love story or romance. This book is very famous and this was really trending in TikTok. So I was happy that I was able to get myself a copy already. This is actually a BOTM copy. And I was actually expecting a lot with this story because nga it's very hype. But I think it's really more of a cutesy love story. It's like more of a feel good type of love story na parang cute lang, kilig lang, that kind of story. And I also read this very fast. I read this within a day. But yeah, if you're just looking for that light kind of romance read na may right kind of kilig and right kind of steaminess, this is something for you. Very quick read, parang pang break lang if you're having a reading slump. This is something that you should pick up, but it's not that kind of romance that really sucks you in and breaks your heart. Alam niyo naman, those are the kinds of romance novels that I like. Yung talagang masakit sa puso. Yung emotions niya really gets into me. Pero this one, it's really very light and very cute lang. Parang ganun lang yung vibes niya. So, but I liked it also. I gave it around 3.54 stars. And then after that, I actually got because The Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, one of my favorite romance writers, actually released ng January. So I was very happy because I was able to get a copy. I actually didn't pre-order this. So when I saw that Carp Librum bookstore has some extra on-hand copies in Shopee, I immediately grabbed it and I finally got it in my hands. Even earlier if I have pre-ordered it, and they also gave me a free bookmark together with the book. So, what did I think about this book? I actually also finished this in like 12 hours. I actually started reading this immediately after Our Violent Ends. So I finished that like Sunday afternoon, and then I started this Sunday afternoon, and I finished this Monday lunch break. Even if I have work in the morning, Monday, I finished this Monday lunch break. That's how I couldn't put this book down. It's really Colleen Hoover's kind of writing, yung may lalim sa storya, yung may pin pintig sa puso. Those are the kinds of story that I like. There are lots of heavy themes that are being explored here, like motherhood, forgiveness, trauma, these kinds of themes that really grip your heart. And the story is really like that. Grabe talaga, it grips your heart. Yung emotions mo talagang may invest ka sa characters. And I actually have a new favorite character crush, si Ledger. Sobrang crush ko si Ledger. Yung kind of personality that he was able to that Colleen Hoover was able to craft in Ledger, yung love niya for yung love niya for DM, yung love niya for the family of DM, yung love niya for Kenna, yung concern and everything parang grabe, crush ko talaga si Ledger Ward. And actually this is a very good book of Colleen Hoover, and I think this would probably end up in my top 3 or top 5 Colleen Hoover books, but I didn't cry for this time. So I didn't cry. But I didn't tear up this time. But it didn't take away from this being a good book. So yep, Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. And then after reading Reminders of Him, I just had a Colleen Hoover hangover. So I wanted to reread some of my most favorite Colleen Hoover books because it's been years since I last read them. So I reread back to back It Ends With Us and Ugly Love. And rereading this, I then really realized how much I love these two books. So these two books are actually my top 1 and 2 Colleen Hoover books. Top 1 ko si Ugly Love and top 2 ko si It Ends With Us. So this is I don't know if this is actually just the second time that I was able to fully reread both books, and I still cried both times in both books. So yeah, it really cements them into my best Colleen Hoover books, and not just best Colleen Hoover books, but best romance novels of all time. So if you haven't read Colleen Hoover, first of all, why? Really, grabe talaga yung books niya. Sobrang sakit sa puso. And number two, these are really, really good books. So, if you haven't read Colleen Hoover, please, ito yung top 2 books that I would ask you and recommend you to give it a try. And then, again, more of romance. So, after nun talagang romance hangover na ako. So, I decided to read The Heart Principle by Helen Wong. This is actually a third book in a companion series, all by Helen Wong. The first book is actually The Kiss Quotient, and the second book is The Bride Test. And both of them I enjoyed quite a lot when I read them. And this one, The Heart Principle, is also very enjoyable for me. I gave this 4 stars. And what I really liked about this story, the story of Anna and Kwan, is it's really very relatable, not just for me, but I think for a lot of people, because it's not just a romance novel. It it really explores the dynamics that we have now, especially I think not just naman in Asian culture, but in general. Yung si Anna kasi, she's very what you call this, parang she she has to mask herself kung sino yung ano yung totoo niyang pagkatao. She has to put on a mask every time she's with her friends, with her family, especially when she's with her family. She can't be who she really is. She just feels that way when she's with Kwan. And when she's with family, she feels like she has to pretend to be someone else. And when she decides on her actions, she always thinks about what will other people say, what will my family say about me. And because of that, she's really very unhappy. And I think this is a theme right now that everyone can relate to, because really happiness shouldn't be about pleasing other people and thinking about what other people will think about what you're doing. But it's really being true to yourself, that will really finally give you peace and freedom. And I loved reading that here. And wala lang, I loved their romance, Anna and Kwan, because really Anna and Kwan, especially Kwan, was Anna's safe haven. In a world where she feels like she has to hide who she really is with one. One is her safe haven. So I love that. Super love ko yung story na to. And last but not the least, I actually finished this yesterday, January 31st. Tamang-tama lang. My 13th book for January. This is Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. So this is actually not the first Nicola Yoon book that I read. I actually read all her books, I think. Yung first is Everything, Everything. And then the second one is The Sun is Also a Star. And yon. So this one, instructions for dancing, I was really very interested in this because if you're not aware, I love dancing as much as reading, and reading something about dancing is also very interesting for me. I love the ballroom dancing component that's happening here because I love dancing, but I am really very interested to venture into ballroom dancing because that's not something that I was able to try when I was younger, in my younger years. And with this, it was really also a good read, and it's something that really also makes you think about love. And kasi yung main theme here is parang, is love really worth it when you know that it will eventually end and you will eventually get heartbroken. So, yun, parang in the end, if you know that wala naman siyang pupuntahan, will you still want to love? And what's the point of loving if you'll just get heartbroken at the end, diba? But I think this book also reminds us that it's not the end that matters. It's that you should be will love is about taking that risk, taking that jump to be happy, to really be happy in the now, and take it's really to be happy in the now and be grateful with what the present holds, because you don't know what the future will hold. And as long as you're being able to express your love now to the people you love, spending time with them, that's what matters than than not loving at all. So again, a good lesson for this book, Instructions for Dance. So there we have it. These are all the 13 books that I was able to finish reading in January 2022. And please let me know, guys, down in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And also, please let me know if you have other book recommendations that you think I might like. Please also let me know down in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you again in my next one. Stay curious and stay fabulous. Goodbye!